Bladesmiths, welcome to the forge. All right, Ben, you have the choice of the weapon or the forge welding technique.
The weapon.
All right, we've got quite the assortment here, all of which look pretty daunting. What are you thinking?
Let's go with the Xiphos.
The Xiphos, all right.
The Xiphos is a leaf blade, double-edged sword, and just super cool and very iconic for the gladiators.
The Xiphos first saw battle back in 7th century BC Greece, but was so effective it also saw action in the hands of gladiators in the Colosseum. Featuring a short, double-edged, leaf-shaped blade with a sharp tip, this weapon was designed to inflict brutal thrusts and slashes against an enemy in close-quarter combat. The Xiphos was previously featured in Season 3 of Forged in Fire, where a loose pommel ultimately cost one smith the competition.
We have 8 hours on the clock for this battle, so good luck, stay sharp, your time starts now.
I'm choosing to do 2 separate stacks of 10 layers because I need 2 outside billets that I can then put onto my 80 CRV2. I'm feeling pretty good about this forge weld, and now it's just drawing it out to that 19 inches.
Ben's at the point with that billet of his that he needs to fuller that thing.
With the power hammer die, I'm able to stretch that steel out pretty nice, getting it closer to that final shape that I want. So once I get my billet drawn out and to shape, I start cleaning it, and all of a sudden, oh! It smacked me right in my face. Everything looks pretty symmetrical, so now I'm ready to start getting this thing prepped for quench.
Ben's in the oil.
Looks straight, I feel good, so now it's just letting it cool down and ultimately starting to put my bevels in once it cools. Now I'm ready to get my bevels ground in. Leaf blades are double-edged, and so it's not only 2 bevels, but 4 bevels, so it's just time-consuming, making sure that everything's nice and symmetrical. Looking at my handle, I realized it's a little too long, so I gotta shorten up the handle so that the whole piece is the right size for a handle. My handle's feeling good. Now I'm ready to go put an edge on this thing.
For my Damascus, I'm using 10 layers of 1095 and 10 layers of 1520.
Jesse setting his welds by hand again.
Again, what you're comfortable with.
The billet is really solid. So I go over to the press and start drawing the billet out. My Damascus pieces are a lot wider than my 80 CRV2 pieces. So it's crucial that I get these centered correctly. As I'm drawing the billet out on the forging press, I think the welds have set really well, but I can't tell because of the overhanging layers. There's a cold shut around my entire billet. But I don't know how far this cold shut goes until I go to the grinder and start peeling it open. I'm beyond relieved. The cold shut only goes along the edge. It does not go through, and I am still in this. It's time to start forging this blade to shape.
Maniac.
Well, we're looking at a quench here pretty soon.
I'm more than halfway through the 8 hours. If this quench fails, I'm screwed.
Here we go.
I heard no pings or pops during the quench, and I take it out, file test it, and it skates like ice.
Perfect.
Now that I'm quenched, I take the blade over to the grinder and begin hogging off material. As I'm grinding off the welds, I see that I do not have clean material. If this weld is weak, my pommel is gonna fly off when they test it, and I cannot have that. I grind off the welds, and it is perfect. It looks like one homogeneous piece of steel. Thank God that worked, and now it's time to start finally grinding my handle to shape. This is the least time I've ever had to shape a handle. I have to make sure that there's no sharp edges on my pommel or guard that could cut a judge's hand. With just seconds left on the clock, I sharpen the blade as best I can.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, turn off the machines, put down your tools. This battle is officially over. Heck of a matchup.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for our strength test, the Roman pot chop. And Jesse, you are up first. You ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Jesse, right off, when I grab this, that handle's a good size for me. As far as your edge holding up, I mean, I can feel some loss of sharpness, but man, where I didn't hit a pot, it's definitely a sharp blade. But I think you did a great job on the balance. The look of this is sweet. The scale is right on. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Ben, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, Ben, right off, could use a little bit more handle, but I like the transitions you've got from handle to pommel and from handle to guard. As far as the edge of your blade goes, you've got a lot of rolling. There's a couple of spots that there are actually little sharp burrs, but everything's right and tight, felt good, held up well, nicely done.
Thank you.
Gladiators of the Forge. Looks like it's coming down to this. This is the sharpness test, the flying sandbag slice. Jesse, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yep.
Let's do this. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your Xiphos sword right here. It's got a great, nice feel to it. The balance of this is really good. And talking about your edge, it slices and I can move around with your weapon. Overall, sir, your Xiphos, it will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Ben, your turn. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's have some fun. All right, Ben, let's talk about your Xiphos sword here. Your handle, it's smooth. It's just a little bit small for my hands. I'd rather have something girthier in there so that when I'm wielding this, I really have good control of it. But the areas where you suffered a little bit of rolling were not an issue. It cut nicely on these bags. Overall, sir, your Xiphos, it'll cut.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, from the moment you stepped into this Coliseum, it was clear that you came here ready to fight. But in this competition, only one of you can come out of this battle as the Gladiator of the Forge and receive a check for $5,000. The winner of this Gladiator of the Forge battle is... Jesse, you did it again. Congratulations. Now, Ben, you are clearly a force to be reckoned with, but unfortunately your blade did not make the cut. All of us want to say thank you so much for coming to this battle and fighting so hard, but unfortunately at this time, I'm going to have to ask that you please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the opportunity. Jesse,
you.
Congrats,
Good
man.
job.
You did great.
Great job,
Thank
Ben.
Jesse, you're an incredible smith, a great guy. Go on and win the entire thing, brother.
Jesse, that makes you a two-time Gladiator of the Forge. You are now at a total of $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. I just won 2 battles in a row. I'm so happy. I have $10,000 in my wallet now, and I still have the opportunity to win more. I'm gonna have to email my professors and tell them I can't come to class because who knew I would be here? I'm here to win. My plan is to go as far as I can, hopefully to the end of all of the Gladiator battles.